Hi guys, I'm Leo and welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, where in this video I'll be doing my predictions for WWE Survivor Series. So first up on the card we have Carlito versus Santos Escobar. I found this really random to be on the Survivor Series pay-per-view. I honestly thought this was just going to be a feud that stayed on SmackDown all the time. But I feel like it's going to be half decent. It's the first time Carlito's been on pay-per-view and had a proper match since like 2007, which is pretty cool. But for me, I've got Santos Escobar to get the win here, just because he's only recently turned heel. He needs the momentum going into his feud with Rey Mysterio. I feel like the payoff will probably be around Royal Rumble time for Rey versus Santos, though I don't think he'll get on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. But yeah, I think it'll be a decent match. It'll be good to see Carlito actually be in a match that isn't like for a couple of minutes like he was in the 6-man tag back at a pay-per-view that I can't remember. I think it was Fastlane. But yeah, I said it should be a decent match, but Santos Escobar needs the win here just to get his traction started as a freshly turned heel. I enjoyed his heel stuff in NXT when he was Cruiserweight Champion and when Legado del Fantasma first showed up. Do I feel like Rey and the LWO are going to get involved here? I feel like Zelina Vega might be on the side of Carlito, but that might be about it. I can't see anything other than that happening. I see like Rey showing up or something. I think this will be pretty run-of-the-mill, and Santos Escobar will probably cheat to get the win. Just to this is kind of the start, and then as it will. Obviously, the feud with Rey will be the finish, and yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that Legado del Fantasma do reform, and Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro do come back and join Santos Escobar on one side. I've heard that Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza might be coming back up to the main roster to join this feud, as well as Dragon Lee getting involved as well. So I feel like this is going to be a feud that's going to have plenty going on for the next few months. But for me, Santos Escobar needs the win here, so he's the one I'm going to go for. Following that, we have Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against The Miz. This is going to be a really good match, I think. A lot of people do underrate Miz. I was surprised at first that this was going to be on the pay-per-view. I didn't really think it could draw a pay-per-view type match. But from what we've seen from promos between them and attacks and stuff like that, I'm actually quite looking forward to this one. And yeah, it could be a dark horse for match of the night, in my opinion, though the WarGames matches are very good and I do prefer them. But from a wrestling standpoint, this could be really good. I said the promos have been enjoyable, and Miz going in as an underdog is not completely unnatural, but it's something that we don't see a lot nowadays, as he's so confident all the time that like you never really consider him as an underdog. You just see him as someone who possibly could get the win. So that's pretty cool. And then yeah, Gunther's just amazing in ring, and if anyone's gonna kind of give Miz. I don't know, I just feel like this match is going to be really good because they're both really good, and though Miz is a safe worker, you know, I feel like he can still put on a really good wrestling match against Gunther. But I have no doubts at all here that Gunther is walking out with his Intercontinental Championship. I don't think it's time for his... I think it's time for his reign to end, but whether they just carry it on till WrestleMania, or whether he loses it maybe at the Royal Rumbles, then that frees him to win the Royal Rumble or something like that, I'm not sure. But for me, Gunther's 100% retaining here. It's nothing against The Miz. I think he'd make a great Intercontinental Champion again, but I can't see The Miz beating Gunther. Ever since the match was announced, I could not see past Gunther winning. Next up, we have Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against Zoe Stark. Again, for me, I can't see Rhea losing this one. I don't think Zoe Stark is quite ready for a championship run yet. I think she will be in the future for sure, but it's too early for it now. I think it's good that she's getting to showcase herself on pay-per-view for the second pay-per-view in a row, as she was in the Fatal 5-Way, and now she's facing Rhea one-on-one here. It's not the match I probably would have gone for Survivor Series. I maybe would have gone Rhea and Shayna, but you know, I feel like it's going to be a really good match. Zoe Stark has done nothing but prove herself from coming up to the main roster with the Trish Stratus stuff, taking Becky Lynch to the limit, and now this. I feel like she's definitely becoming accomplished and a mainstay on the main roster, and I do like her. She's a good talent. I'd liked her in NXT. And yeah, I'm happy that she's been able to get the showcase time on pay-per-view and a Big 4 pay-per-view as well. But yeah, the match, I think it's going to be really good. All 5 matches on this card are going to be really good. It's going to be a really enjoyable night of wrestling. But for me, I can't see Rhea losing the title here. I can't see her losing the title to at least after Elimination Chamber, because it would be silly to have a pay-per-view in Australia and not have Rhea Ripley be the champion going in. So I'm backing Rhea until after Elimination Chamber at the least. Following that, we have the women's WarGames match, which is Team Belair, which is Shotzi, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, taking on Team Damage Control, which is Io Sky, Bayley, Kairi Sane and Asuka. For me, I have Damage Control to get the win here, or Team Damage Control, however you want to put it, just because they need the win. I feel like if they're going to become a more formidable women's faction in WWE, they need to win this match. I don't see the point in bringing Asuka and Kairi Sane into the group if they're just going to lose at the first attempt of being a team wrestling. I know that over the past year and a half, Damage Control tend to get the lose a lot when they're as a team, and I think it's one of the things that ironically damaged them in the first place. But having this group come together as they are could really give the group a momentum boost and kind of see them become more of a threat. But that needs to start with a big win at Survivor Series, with them winning WarGames. I don't feel like there's going to be as much dissension between the babyface team as there will be on the men's side, which I'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, I say it all comes down to Damage Control, really. They have been the main focus of SmackDown for the last few weeks. They've been getting the main event slot as far as segments go and matches and stuff like that. Therefore, kind of to give them the resurgence that they deserve, because they are a really good team, and especially if you've got Bayley and Asuka, who are huge talents and huge names in WWE. You've got Io Sky, who's only just beginning as far as becoming a legend in WWE, and Kairi Sane is a legend around the world of wrestling. It just makes more sense to have this team get the win, get the momentum going, and watch them become one of the most formidable women's teams in WWE history. And finally, in what I assume will be the main event, we have Team Babyface, which is Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso and a returning Randy Orton, taking on Team Judgment Day, which is Balor, Priest, Dom Dom, JD Madonna and Drew McIntyre, who isn't part of Judgment, properly. But for me, I have Team Judgment Day to get the win here, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me here, but I have theories as to why. First theory being, Team Babyface are going to turn on each other all over the shop, apart from Sami Zayn, where, you know, Cody and Seth hate each other, or they're going to turn on each other. Randy Orton, last time we saw him was 2 years ago when he got taken out by the Bloodline, including Jey Uso. Therefore, Orton might turn on Jey Uso. Also, they're the two main points of why Team Babyface will completely break down and cost each other the match. Sami Zayn is just there, in my opinion. I don't know, it's weird how a year ago he was like the most important guy going into WarGames, and now he's just someone who's there because, you know, and you can see it in the picture, he has the massive smile on his face, whereas the rest are like trying to look mean and all that stuff. But yeah, Cody and Seth are going to have a massive communication breakdown. Orton may turn on Jey Uso just because obviously they took him out for 2 years. And then you've got the case of Drew McIntyre being on Team Judgment Day. I feel like the finish of this match is going to be Drew McIntyre pinning Seth Rollins to get the win for Team Judgment Day, and it also sets him up to having a title shot at the Royal Rumble, which he will probably win because he'll be more aggressive. Now he's 100% blown heel. He'll be more aggressive, he'll cheat. Rhea will probably help him win the world title as well. And then we're kind of off to the races with that. There's every chance, to be fair, that I think for me, I think this is, again, it's just a theory, that if Judgment Day get the win and the cage is raised immediately, like, you know, you see it sometimes with like Hell in a Cell and Steel Cage, sometimes they'll just leave the cage, and sometimes they'll raise it immediately. Or like the Elimination Chamber, for example, where if Rollins takes the pin, wouldn't it be kind of funny if like the cage got raised immediately and Priest cashed in Money in the Bank? He then became world champion, meaning that Judgment Day are going to help Priest retain rather than have Drew McIntyre or help Drew McIntyre get the world title from Rollins. Like, there's a lot of possible double crosses in this match that makes this way more interesting. So for me, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be more a case of kind of who betrays who first, kind of, because, you know, as I said, you've got Rollins or Cody turning on each other, you've got Orton turning on Jay, you've got Priest turning on McIntyre, you've got all sorts kind of going on. I think it's going to be full of drama. It's also going to be a really a brutal match overall. I feel like all these guys are kind of known for doing their extreme stuff, are known for kind of being more aggressive, especially now Drew McIntyre is a heel. I'm expecting kind of way more aggression from him towards Seth Rollins. So yeah, it's a match I'm very much looking forward to. I think it'll 100% be match of the night. And yeah, as I said, there's a lot of theories going around, like, well, sorry, there's not a lot of theories going around. I have a lot of theories about how this match will go, which I've explained, but I have Judgment Day to get the win here and McIntyre to pin Rollins. So those are my predictions for Survivor Series this weekend. Do put in the comments down below who you think is going to win, what you think match of the night is going to be. Do you think CM Punk's going to show up? I certainly don't, and I hope he doesn't either. I don't think we need the drama in WWE that he caused back in 2014 and that he's caused in AEW over the last few years. Therefore, though Punk is one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, I really don't want him in WWE now. WWE is starting to get back on the wheel of doing really well, and I've got a feeling next year is going to be a huge year of just pure quality all around. Especially now Randy Orton's back, hopefully AJ Styles will start getting pushed again, and Triple H is killing it, booking in. So hopefully that doesn't all get destroyed by them signing CM Punk when ideally they don't really need him. But though at the same time I can understand why they would sign him, just because of the name quality, and people would start probably viewing again, and people would watch it just to see if any drama kicks off. So either way, like, I hope he doesn't show up, but I know there are a lot of people that do. But yeah, put in the comments any feedback for me as well. Do like video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow the Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later on.